Okay, so it seems like the Korone situation is getting even crazier, as these people tend to get even more unhinged as time goes on, and obviously as people, start to defend Korone for the Hogwarts Legacy stream that she did, they get more desperate and start to lash out at pretty much anybody. And now, this is a case which I thought was very interesting, which I wanted to share with you guys, as usually, obviously, I probably would be done with this, but it seems like they're attacking other VTubers and just people online for actually defending Korone, which I think is pretty insane. Now, if you guys want to know exactly what happened and what they were saying towards Korone and going into a stream and spamming and stuff, right, it's all in my previous videos on this kind of situation, but essentially the kind of rundown is that Korone was getting kind of harassed online by a lot of people, especially over on Bluesky, for playing Hogwarts Legacy, because obviously Hogwarts Legacy is, based off of the Harry Potter series written by J.K. Rowling, who has obviously got a lot of controversial takes whenever it comes to like transgender people and also the Israel-Palestine stuff. So again, people were trying to associate Korone with some of the most extreme people on the opposite side of those things because she played a game, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, and obviously a lot of people have been defending her now, which is great to see. Now obviously you can see the amount of different comments and stuff, which we will go through in a minute, but essentially, yeah, this was something that I found over on this subreddit saying trans VTuber gets not so subtle threats for defending Korone, and they say for shame. Now this is the same person which we saw in the Hero Hey tweets, or even in my tweets as well, who was obviously attacking them and saying stuff like may her head roll, genocide supporter. That is what Misery said. This is also the same person who made a hit list on VTubers, claiming that they were a bunch of people who obviously World War II Germany. You guys can kind of put two and two together. I don't know if I can really say much on YouTube again, obviously due to YouTube bonking me, but again, you guys can understand what I mean by that. Essentially, they were trying to refer to them as that, which obviously is pretty crazy, and obviously you can tell how pretty terrible they are, because they've done this hit list, and now they're obviously attacking Korone and people that are supporting Korone for this kind of stuff, and I think it's crazy. They've even said this recently, which I didn't share in my last videos, but obviously Hirohei said, bro, what? The person who called out for violence against Korone yesterday is now saying this about hololive fans. So they're now actually attacking hololive fans, saying hololive fans are one bad event from shooting up the Tokyo Metro, I swear, which is crazy. That is a crazy thing to say and a crazy thing to imply on hololive fans, and obviously it's terrible. It's like, this should never be said. And, it's completely baseless. There's no, like, reason to be saying this. HoloLive fans, as far as I know, are pretty chill, and saying this kind of stuff is only trying to rile them up even further, and obviously trying to attack them. And, yeah, this is all this person really does over on Bluesky, and they feel like they've got a little bit of a safe space over there. But let's be real, people are calling them out left and right now. And obviously, this same person is now attacking this person called Maria Puddingway. We've actually seen quite a bit in my replies as well over on Twitter. They seem very chill. And obviously, they are a trans VTuber. Now, obviously, one of the big issues that people had with J.K. Rowling and Hogwarts Legacy was her kind of opinions on trans people, right? And it was a lot of trans people that didn't like the fact that people were playing Hogwarts Legacy. But obviously, at the same time, there's still many trans people out there who don't really care about you playing a video game at the end of the day. And obviously, I think Maria is one of those people who obviously, they made this tweet saying, I am trans, I care about trans people. Internet activism does not help anybody. And obviously, yeah, that's what they're referring to. They're saying Korone has done nothing wrong. What y'all are doing is stupid and just going to harm all of us together, more so than Hogwarts Legacy, a game that you have given power over you. There were some lessons a few years ago y'all should have learned, but you refused to do so. And obviously, yeah, that's what they were saying over there. And obviously said, and what do we call fascist collaborators class? Sorry, what do we do to fascist collaborators class? Obviously implying something pretty terrible, and obviously this is in response to someone replying to Maria Puddingway, which is pretty crazy. You'd think, obviously, a lot of people have been doing it for trans people, right? Especially over on Bluesky. A lot of these people have been claiming they're doing it because they want to support the trans community and things. But at the same time, they're attacking actual trans people because they are saying that, hey, I don't think this is very chill. We should probably not do this. It looks bad for all of us. And then they go and tell her to do stuff like this, you know. And obviously I think it is pretty crazy. I think it is crazy that they even do that in the first place, you know. Said, hey, wow, look at that, a literal hate mob with ulterior motives. Said these people should get a job and take their meds, which, yeah, is 100% true, you know. I think, you know, people should spend way too much time on the internet whenever it comes to Bluesky and Twitter and everywhere like that, where they make comments like this, which could potentially ruin their lives. And I mean, I don't know what's, you know, they've gotten very comfortable with tweeting or blue skying or whatever you call it over there. I don't know what the term is, whatever that term is, posting, I guess, over on Blue Sky, right? You know, they got very comfortable posting stuff like this, which is extremely, you know, out there and crazy. You know, how is this going to affect them in the future? Is someone, you know, who they're going to get employed by going to see this? Is someone, you know, any of the kind of law enforcement, are they going to see this? Because again, you know, they do check stuff like this. They do look at stuff like this, and they do, you know, it's going to ruin their life, essentially. And I don't know why people, you know, decide to do this. They decide to go on the internet and, you know, type stuff like this towards people for playing a video game. Because let's all just go back to where this is all coming from, right? This isn't just like some big kind of, you know, thing that needs to really go that much into detail. At the end of the day, this is someone saying this kind of stuff over someone playing Hogwarts Legacy. It's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. When you simplify it down to what this actually is, people are mad that a Japanese streamer is playing Hogwarts Legacy, and all of a sudden the people that are defending her need to, you know, obviously not live anymore according to these people, which is crazy. It's crazy that they're doing that. And I think that a lot of people are starting to be fed up with a lot of, you know, people trying to attack people for obviously playing Hogwarts Legacy. And it, you know, it's 100% true. You know, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And as I said, you know, all of these people will attack you over Hogwarts Legacy because it's an easy thing to do. It's a slam dunk for them, essentially, in terms of their community, right? Because Hogwarts Legacy has always been painted as this terrible thing that you cannot touch. Obviously, we talked about the Silverveil situation, you know, obviously where she was harassed for playing Hogwarts Legacy when, you know, she just wanted to play it due to the fact that she'd grown up with the series and was very excited by the game itself, right? And, you know, people attacked her and even brought her to the point of tears where she was on stream explaining her situation. And it didn't even help that, you know, VShojo didn't even help her out with that, which is crazy to me. But obviously, yeah, you know, this has just been an easy target for a lot of people that want to attack whoever because of this. I think it's so dumb, because when you look at other kind of forms of media, right, or any kind of music, whether it's games or literally anything, right, and it's made by a horrible person, 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody is going to say, you're a horrible person for doing this and be as extreme on this. But because it's Hogwarts Legacy for some reason, they decide to go, you know, all out, which I think is really weird to me, because why are we doing this with just this one game? I don't know why everybody has centered it around this one game and not centered it to everything. And obviously, I'm sure even Misery here probably even interacts with a lot of media created by, you know, pretty bad people, you know, everybody does. I think that's like a common thing, you know, sometimes, you know, good media gets made by bad people, and that's just something that happens. And as I talked about with a kind of, you know, an example, last video, I talked about obviously Kanye West, you know, great music, terrible person, but again, you know, people still listen to it. And, you know, that's the same with a lot of other people as well. You don't see them going out and attacking people for liking, you know, other stuff. For example, like Kanye West. In fact, you see a lot of people supporting people for listening to it and making jokes about it, right? And I think that is obviously the kind of situation that we need to have with games like Hogwarts Legacy. But for some reason, the community has decided to kind of focus in on that and attack people to the point where we're getting people attacking other trans people just because, you know, they are defending a VTuber for playing a video game. But again, I just kind of want to give you guys that update because I thought it was pretty crazy, and this person just seems to be getting even more unhinged towards people like Mario here. So obviously, I hope, you know, they're good and everything like that. But again, it's just ridiculous that this stuff is even still going on and that people are still allowed to make comments like this, you know, towards other people. And I think, yeah, at the end of the day, just let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.